We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. F*** it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Nintendo Talk Live. I am Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, joined by one of the coolest people on the internet, and the coolest, I can't really say the coolest named show, because you basically, like, we flip each other, you know what I mean? But Casey Gibson of Talk Nintendo Podcast. What's up, Casey?
Hey, man, a pleasure to be here. I thought you were going to say the coolest guy on the Talk Nintendo podcast, and I was going to say you absolutely have that part right. I don't know about on the internet, but on the podcast, I feel pretty confident that I can say that.
You don't want me. I'm not taking you. You want me to take shots at Perry. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, well, don't worry. I will.
Okay,
I have no problem. I enjoy it. I like busting chops, so, you know.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. So,
now, I'm a little disappointed before we get it here. I've seen a bunch of the videos, and you have your Yankees hat on, and I've got my beautiful, the best team in New York hat ready to rock and roll here.
Right,
yeah, here we go. We get it proper, you know.
Okay, if you piece of trash. First off, Mets fans are the worst in the world. They are the pure wannabe team in New York. And you know this is true.
6-2, baby, 6-2. You guys are off to a slow start.
27. I'm gonna throw 27 in your face all night long. You know what that is, right?
Oh, I sure do. One of my buddies, that's his go-to. Absolutely, yeah. It's like
it works.
You can bring up the most any argument that's like puts him in a hole. Yeah, 27 just gets you right out of it.
It does. When people start giving me crap, I go, I'll give you 27 reasons why we're the best team in all baseball. And then they start throwing up the money stuff, and it's like, listen, this isn't the year 2000 Yankees and all that stuff.
Oh no, they're better off this year.
Yeah,
or the last team, I should say. Yeah,
they're definitely starting off to a slow start. I am a little concerned. Although I was watching a little bit tonight, and Judge has 2 home runs, so I'm like, okay, now they're getting back into the groove.
That guy's a beast. But
dude,
the Sox are all.
It's in trouble. The
Sox are off to a bad start too. Yeah, I mean, it's a long season. I'm not worried about the Yankees. I'm worried about the Mets. We got off to a hot start last year, so it's
You guys got a former Yankee, Robinson Cano.
Yeah, he had a big old home run today, tied up the game.
I love him. I was a little upset when the Yankees let him walk, but I understood it. They were in a situation where it was just they wanted
too much cabbage, man.
They just wanted to cut the payroll back big time, and he was commanding such. And then he gets nailed for PEDs next year, so it was like, yeah, maybe they made a good choice to let him go.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They knew what was up. Yeah, it looks bad for 1 year until all of a sudden you get banged for the PEDs, and then you're in the clear. You know, so.
Clear. So, okay. So before we jump into baseball talk live, let's real quickly. I can't look at that hat, man. It's driving me up the wall. My brother used to be a Mets fan. And still is to some degree. But we see. Okay, so where I grew up, I'm about 40 minutes from Philadelphia. So here is Philadelphia country, and you got to be a Phillies fan. And the only time in all my life I was a diehard Phillies fan was when Pete Rose was on the Phillies. I love Pete Rose. And then he's a great guy. Once they shipped him to Cincinnati or let him go to Cincinnati, I was like, okay, we're done. I'm done with you, Phillies. Like you let my favorite player walk. I'm done with you. And but like growing up, like I went to World Series and playoff games because my grandfather had season tickets. But it's like now I go to Phillies games when they play the Yankees, and
you get the best of both worlds. You know.
Let me tell you something. Phillies fans think they are the baddest people on the planet, and they're tough when you're 15 rows away. But when you're sitting next to them, I gotta tell the story.
I gotta tell the
story. This is the best. So we go, and I take my dad for Father's Day because my dad's a Yankees fan, but he's also a Phillies fan. So he's like in the middle of it all, right? And we go, and this is the year that they won the World Series. Actually, I think they beat the Mets. No, they beat the Phillies. It's 2009. I'm sorry. And we go, we're sitting there in the stands, and we're just swarm of Phillies fans because the Phillies are good, and the stadium's packed, and New York's in town, so it's huge. And I'm sitting there, and Phillies are beating the Yankees, and I'm getting annoyed. But it's not bad. it's like whatever. The Yankees all of a sudden just start their magic. They're getting little hits here, and next thing you know, they start coming back. And Johnny Damon's in right field, so and we're sitting in right field, so there's Johnny Damon right in front of us. And the Yankees start to come back, and they take the lead. And all of a sudden, I jump up, and I'm cheering, I'm pumped. Now,
getting loud. Loud.
There's 5 kids, and I say kids, probably 20-something-year-old, right next to us. There's a woman 10 rows down who jumps up and cheers, and they yell at her, "Sit down, B." And I look at him. I look at my dad, and I go, "You hear this clown?" And I'm saying, just like I'm saying right now, I said, "Dad, you hear this clown?" My dad's like, "Shut up." I go, No, Dad. We can run our mouths to the woman 15 rows down, but we can't say nothing to the big guy sitting right next to him.
Yeah, they keep quiet. Yeah.
You shut up when you're talking about me. I swear to God, Casey, all 5 of them got up and left. They never came back the rest of the game.
Bunch of pansies,
sissies, man. And I'm like, this is typical Philadelphia. I remember going to the 1993 World Series. 1993 World Series against the Toronto Blue Jays. And my brother's a Redskins fan. He's wearing a Redskins jacket in the vet. And they start giving him an issue. And I'm like, dude, he's 15 years old. You're picking on a 15-year-old kid. What are you guys doing? Like,
they're picking those easy battles. You know? Like you said, you get a couple beers in you, and all of a sudden, you can take on anyone except for the person who's bigger than you. You know.
Exactly. So okay, let's get back on track. I totally took it off, so I apologize.
No, that's all right. Yeah, okay, it's sports. I could talk about them all day. I love all the bad New York teams, so it's.
Well, that makes sense. So that means you like
Jets, Mets, Islanders, baby.
Oh my God.
Hey, Islanders though, we clinched. We got our home ice advantage for the first round. So
okay.
Baby steps. We're going in the right direction.
We'll see how that works out for you.
Better than the past.
So real quickly, for those that don't know who you are, let them know like what you do, where you all that good stuff.
Yeah, so my name's Casey. I do a little podcast over at Nintendo World Report with Perry, Talk Nintendo podcast. Sort of similar name here. We, like you said, great minds think alike.
Exactly.
We started that podcast. I think it was in like September of 2016.
You got me crushed.
Something like that, yeah. And it was funny because it all started off like I'd always wanted to sort of do a podcast. Like I started and I guess to get a little more into like when we're talking about consoles and stuff.
Yeah.
I lapsed out of gaming a little bit during my college years, came back in sort of full swing afterwards, and then like that point, like that's when I started listening to podcasts.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I want to do this, but I don't like know anyone around me who would really want to do it, and like I don't know, pretty much I didn't know anyone who'd want to do one anyway. So it was always just sort of in the back of my head. And through Nintendo World Report, there was like a game night, and we were playing Splatoon, and like everyone dropped off except for like me and Perry and like one other person. And next thing you know, me and Perry just like oh cool, like that was fun, like start talking on Twitter, and then like we're playing games more, and then like just out of the blue, I was like, at this point we were getting a little more familiar with each other. I was like, hey man, like you ever want to do a podcast or something? And he's like, absolutely, like yes. And then like a week later, we did our first episode, and his audio got trashed, and like the first episode in the tubes, like
shocker.
Yeah, well, like yeah. After all about Perry's, he uses Macs.
Problems,
it's because he uses Macs.
I use a Mac too, but here's the thing: I partitioned my Mac, so when I stream and do everything, I go to the Windows side.
Yeah, there it is.
Mac is garbage for all this.
Yeah, for whatever reason, we lost episode 1, which in hindsight I think was a good thing because get the dry run out, like work a little bit of the kinks out with that first episode. But yeah, ever since we started out going to be doing a bi-weekly podcast, and then after I think like 2 episodes, we were like, let's just do this every week because it's great. Like we love doing it. So we pretty much. No, not pretty much. Every single week since we've done it, we have not missed a week in like over 2 years.
That's crazy.
So I mean, that's something we pride ourselves on. Is like awesome. Every week you're going to get an episode from us. When we go to PAX, you're going to get more than one episode from us. So that's something we really pride ourselves on. And then around the launch of the Switch, actually, started doing reviews for Nintendo World Report, and started doing more reviews through them, and I've been getting into doing video reviews and stuff over on Nintendo World Report TV on YouTube. So yeah, we've just been sort of ramping up and continuing to do that. And like I said, we've gone and covered PAXs as Talk Nintendo with Nintendo World Report, doing video interviews. Like one of the most surreal moments was getting to interview Suda51 at PAX East.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were like, Perry's like, Suda51 is right behind you. And I was like, and he's like, go interview him. And like,
yeah,
like, he's like,
you go.
Yeah. And I was like, humana, like, but yeah, it was pretty cool. And I mean, it's just, I love Nintendo. I've always loved Nintendo. And just to be able to do something like this and branch out and meet other cool people who are down to do stuff like this is just something we love to do.
So, full disclosure, when I had Perry on, I had never listened to an episode of your podcast. Never at that point. And not the only reason, but part of the reason that I even reached out to Perry to do something was because of the mutual friendship with Jules.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't want to hear that name because you hear it all the time.
I've got a funny story about that friendship if you want to hear it in a minute. Yeah.
I definitely want to hear it. So what happened is I messaged Jules and I'm like, hey man, do you ever think that Perry? I had seen his name on the internet, but I didn't know what you guys did. I didn't know any of that. And I'm like, do you think Perry would want to do a podcast? Like, come on. And he's like, just ask him. Go ahead. Yeah. It's like, all right. So I messaged Perry and he's like, yeah, let's do something. So, but this winter, I finally got things down. Yeah, exactly. That what you're saying, Luke. That's exactly what what we're talking about. We were talking about it before we started. But what happened was, so this winter I kind of like started listening to podcasts again because my commute to work is like 8 minutes now. I don't get the time to listen. Mm-hmm. This winter I was like, I'm going to start listening to podcasts so I jumped into listening to you guys and I was like, oh my God, these guys are awesome. Like I love you two together. I think you guys do a phenomenal job. And the funny thing is like the one thing that I admire and I love about you guys, but I don't know how the hell you do it, is when you go through the eShop. My God, dude, that's a mission with as many games that hit the eShop right now. And I listened to one time when I think it was after PAX South, and you missed a
that
was like 50 or 60 games, and
it was terrible.
Like, you guys just like, we're gonna get through this as quickly as possible.
Well, it's funny actually. We've sort of rebranded in the last couple episodes now with the eShop. We do the new eShop roundup, fitting with Nintendo's naming conventions. Instead, we've decided now we look over beforehand and we each pick like 1 or 2 games for our game of the week because, like you said, like it was just getting to that point where it's like
ridiculous, man.
Like 30 plus games and like sure, like maybe 5 to 10 of these look like remotely good, like could be and then you get like the trashy games where like and like you said that after PAX was like I think that might have been the tipping point. Like we can't do this anymore. Yeah,
I'm listening. I'm like, they're really gonna go through every one. Like they are not. But the funny thing is like, you're such a tool when it comes to that stuff. Like you're taking jabs as you're reading the games and you're like, oh, this is a real good one and stuff like that. I'm like, I love this guy. This is amazing.
You got to at some point. You know what I mean? You get to that point, like, come on, what is this game, man? Like, how's it getting on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, doubling back to the Jules story real quick.
Hear the Jules story.
It's funny because pretty much I credit Perry's entire career to me. Like it's my doing. And it's because I got him to Jules. Like I was the conduit to the Perry and Jules Love Fest.
Really? How did this work out?
So now back when Mutant Mud's Super Challenge came out on the 3DS, right? Yes. I remember Jules had done like a little promo, like find the secret characters, you know how like they had the hidden in throughout the world, and was take like a screenshot or whatever, send it to me, and it might have been on Wii U, I forget, but it was like send us the screenshot, you find it, and if you're like the first person to find it, I'll send you a poster. So I was like, I love Mutant Mud so much, it's such a great game. So I'm playing
so balls hard.
Oh, I know. So satisfying once you finally like get those levels done.
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I'm determined. Like I remember sitting in my old room at my house. I'm like, I'm gonna get this done. I found it. I sent it to Jules. Like he was like, oh, congrats. Like DM me. So like we were able to DM, and like Jules never sent me that poster.
No, really?
Never did. It still hasn't. And so, but what that did was that opened up my DMs, right? So when we were doing the podcast, we were like, we should see if we could get like a guest on, and we were talking. I'm like, well, like I could DM Jules now because like I have that ability. And you know, I shot Jules a DM, and he's like, yeah, sure, come on in. You know, like I'll come on, and it was funny because he was like, yeah, like I could definitely come on for like an hour, you know, like, but like, you know, and 3 hours later, you know, we're like, okay, that's it. And I think he was doing the old, I better have a good out in case this is awkward with these two. I don't even know these two people. Like this could be terrible, you know? But yeah, no. And next thing you know, Perry's doing music for Jules' game, you know? So it's like,
the funny thing is it's kind of similar to me and Sean Capri. So what happens is Jules reaches out, I basically see Jules put a call out to different people that want to review Mutant Mud's Super Challenge, and I'm like, okay, I would like to do this. So I just reply to an email, and he picks me to do a review. And I had a bunch of friends that emailed him, and he said no to all of them. So I was like, oh my god, what the hell's good? Like, okay, but I knew that there was some, because I was friends with Image and Forum, and I knew that there was some type of friendship between Brian and Jules. So I think that that's kind of what helped a little bit. So Jules sends me the code. I do the review. I love the game. I give it high scores. And then I think I used like a seal that I took. I took the old Nintendo seal and I put my face in there and stuff. And I was like, the Nintendo Guru seal of quality or whatever. He's like, dude, I love this. Can I use it? Can you send me a raw copy? So I did. I sent it to him. Look, you guys knock it off. Seriously.
Jules talk. Yep.
This has turned into Jules talk. But so what happens is Jules and I continue to talk over time, and then I bring him on If We Ran Nintendo with me and Sean. And then Sean and Jules start messaging each other through Skype. And
Cut you off, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, Jules don't message me. Like, what the hell's going on? Like, this isn't okay with me. So I was like, I started to get jealous. Like, I legitimately started to get jealous. I'm like, this guy just stole my friend. Like, what is going on? So I messaged Jules and asked him to come on. I think it was the Geekcast at the time. I was like, Jules, I got another podcast. You want to come on this one? And then I was like, Sean's not on this one though. Like, and so then we have.
Oh, busy that night. Yeah,
but Sean's not here. Sean's not in this one. And then but then it just took off from there, and then we just became. And then Sean's now on the outsides again. So I'm like, good. That's where you need to stay. You stay in that little corner. That's where you are.
I was going to say, it's like we need to cut those two bastards off. You know what I mean? Like, forget those guys. You know, like we're going to do our own thing. Like they can take a hike. We don't need them.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't need you, Jules. You know.
I need you, Jules. Don't listen to Casey.
Yeah, please message me, please.
Okay, let's jump. Holy crap, dude. We're 18 minutes in ahead. We got to where we're supposed to be here. Okay, so I like to start the show off with 3 easy, simple questions, the easiest questions in all the land. And I like to see, because it's my gauge to see what type of person I'm dealing with. All right.
Are you dealing with a good best team in New York person?
You know, dealing with a piece of trash. I can know that already. So, what is the first Nintendo console that you ever owned, Casey?
So the first console that I owned, my family had purchased them obviously before because I was pretty young. We did have an NES, but the first one I could actually consciously remember is Super Nintendo. Okay. So that's like when I think of my formative years, that was really the first system that I ever really got into. I remember my brother got Link to the Past for his birthday one year. Great. And like I played the crap out of it back then, and every couple of years I go through and I played through that game again. You know, Super Mario World, obviously a big. I mean, I had a recurring nightmare when I was younger. My dad's a hunter, or he likes to go hunting, and he'd shot a bear with a bow one time, and
okay.
yeah.
So your dad's like a real man. Like
Yeah.
not like
yeah,
us. Like,
yeah. I don't know what happened from that generation to this one, but something we missed something along the line.
No kidding.
Yeah, I go duck hunting is the like in duck hunt, that's pretty much my hunting experience. But he made it into a rug, and it used to petrify me. So
man.
Yeah. So in my one recurring dream, I'm just sitting there playing Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, having the best time ever. Then I like turn it off and I go up the stairs and the door closes and then that bear rug comes crawling up the stairs.
Nah.
And it's so funny. It was always Super Mario World. Like it was always Super Mario World. Like it never fluctuated. It was always the same game. But yeah, so Super Nintendo is really the first, that set me on the path, if you will.
Okay, that's a good one. What is the first Nintendo console that you bought with your own money?
First one I bought with my own money was the Nintendo Wii.
Wow.
I remember, because that was 2006, right? It came out, and that was my senior year in high school.
Okay.
So I remember it was like obviously the hype around the revolution and everything, and just getting ready for that. And I remember the week before it came out, or I guess a week and a day before it came out, we're sitting at like my friend's house around like a bonfire outside, and my friend's cousin worked at Toys R Us, and he was like, Robbie's got word that like they're gonna be taking reserves for the Wii tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
Like, dude, I was like, we need to get there. Like, so we got there like 2-3 hours early, waited in line, got our reserve slips, so like the launch day was amazing. Like I remember vividly like the best day ever, because it was like, ironically, my dad had gone hunting, so him and my brother were
out. Go get another bear.
Yeah, he's getting ready to scare me. So they were out of the house, so it was just me and my mom and my sister, so that meant I could use the big TV upstairs. But I remember going, and like the lines wrapped around the whole building, and we were like, let's go get breakfast at IHOP until they open, like we're filling up on pancakes, and we just walk right through the exit, skipping everyone. And I just remember like at that point I had like $500. I was like, I'm gonna spend this all. I was like, excite but truck, give me cell, like give me the extra controllers, the classic controllers, like just making it rain.
That's
and
how I felt. That's how I felt with the Switch. I'm
I'm
buying it all. This is gonna be the first console I'm gonna buy every game. And then they go, we only got like 5 games. I'm like, what?
I want to spend more money, damn it! Come on. Yeah. I went wild with the Wii too. Yeah, like give me the Switch. Like give me all the amiibo, the Zelda amiibo. Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
But yeah, like I just remember that was such a good feeling. Like just walking in there, like coming home, like finally using the motion control. Like so amazing.
That was the one that drew me back in. That was So I want to say this bad bit. His dad didn't fight a bear. His dad killed a bear. There's a difference.
And not with his own hands, as cool as that would have been.
He did it with a bow.
It was a bow. Yeah, it wasn't like it was a gun.
Like that's legit, dude. That's not like that's hunting. Like you are an animal. Like you're a beast if you do something like that. Like to me, like
one beast taking out another.
Man,
yeah.
Like, dude, oh my god. Because here's the thing: if you don't hit it and kill it, you're pissing it off. And like
you're in trouble.
Like this thing turns. And comes at you, forget about it, man. It's like lights out. Sean, is that better? I don't know, Sean. Is that better?
My dad would have been the rug in that situation, So
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I am a little bit quiet, Sean. I'm sorry. Let me turn it up a little. Just turn it up a little bit for you there, Sean. Anyway, so yeah, for me, the Wii was what brought me back into gaming. Because like you said, you took a hiatus. I took a hiatus as well. And I basically just like walked from gaming between the GameCube and the Wii. I didn't want nothing to do with it. And Sony at the time, like I bought a PlayStation 1, had a PlayStation 2, and was like, okay, I'm in the PlayStation world. I'm going to be gaming on there too. And then they were just like, yeah, if you want the PlayStation 3, you'll get a second job. And I'm like, F you, I'm out.
Yeah. So, it was like $600 or $700 or something,
insane,
right? Yeah.
Insane, dude. It was insane. So I was just like, nope. I don't want nothing to do with this, and I didn't know you started. Yeah, you were. Oh, come on, Nintendo. These guys are they're just trolls.
They're just
man.
ruffling your jimmies, man.
Oh my god, they just want to derail the show. It's like let's see if we can mess the show up. You know what I mean? Okay, my mic is higher. What do you guys want? You know what you guys want? You want to make me mad. That's the problem. Everything is fine. Like, stop. Just stop. Turn your volumes up, man. One guy's in Wendy's. That's why you can't hear me. The other guy's got kids screaming.
It's the chewing of the French fries.
Yeah,
you can't hear over there. The crisping.
Exactly.
Those salt sea French fries at Wendy's got you. You're rocking.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so let's jump into the third question.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say, actually, ironically enough, the Wii was sort of when I took that dip, because I was into it big, and then it went to college, and then it was sort of like just between college, obviously, you're just sort of partying a little hardy, going out and making friends, and that's actually when I sort of got into my World of Warcraft days.
Oh boy, here we go. We don't talk about WoW on this show. I have a friend of mine that loves WoW, and like I always break her stones, and I'm like, it's garbage. It's trash. So if she's watching right now, I'll get a text in a few minutes, and she'll be like, "Oh, wow!" I'm like, "No, just go away."
Great game. Too much time commitment.
That's the problem. You got to lose your life to that game. Like you need to literally just like lights out.
Yeah, there was a time where I was raiding 25 hours a week.
Oh my god.
We were real good though. We were really good.
I guess so. After 25 hours a week, you should be good. Like,
yeah, we 25
were like hours a week is just ridiculous.
Yeah, we were like top 10 U.S. 10-man for a little while, which was pretty cool.
I guess
but
so.
Yeah, and that was like the one time I felt so baller. It's like my account got hacked and like all my items disappeared. And it was like right around the time like someone like sold them or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it was right around the time that like a new expansion came out or a new raid, and like they got me my items back in like an hour and a half flat. I like couldn't believe it. I was like, man, they must like. I felt like a bigwig, But yeah, wow,
crazy. That's crazy.
Too much time.
Final question: what is your favorite Nintendo console? Not allowed to say Switch. Not allowed to say Switch.
This one's tough. You said 3 easy questions, and I will agree. 2 of them are easy. One
really?
Not so easy.
Why?
Yeah, because like I try and think about which is my favorite, and I can just think like N64 was a time of my life where it was like me, my brother, and my 2 neighbors were all within like 4 or 5 years of age.
Yeah.
So like we were playing Gauntlet Legends, 4-player local multiplayer, Mario Kart, like all these games that were like the best with 4 people. GoldenEye. Like we would be able to do that every single day. Then I think to like GameCube is really sort of I think when like I started like. I love video games and Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like Animal Crossing, Sunshine, like all of these games, like Mario Golf, like so good. Then the Wii is definitely not my favorite. I know that for sure. And then I think back to like in my mind, I've always been like I'm a console gamer, right? I'm a console gamer. But then like when I stop to think about it, I think I'm more of a portable gamer because like DS and 3DS are like DS is really like the Wii was my first system I bought. DS was the first time I had money. Like I didn't buy it originally. Like I got Christmas, but like I started caddying. So like I had
caddying. My god! So you're making money. Like you're like
it's all cash, homie. Down like I got $50 today. I'm going right to GameStop and I'm buying Feel the Magic. You know what I mean? Like, it was like I was buying literally everything at that point. But like when I think about it, it's like the 3DS I think is my favorite system because it was sort of like that getting back into gaming again was sort of it was like it began with the 3DS and like I remember I bought it before the drop. You know what I mean? Before the price drop. So I got those 20 games
awesome games.
The ambassador program. And like that started it. And then ironically enough, the PS4 I would credit to bringing me back into Nintendo because that was like that's when I was like PS4, like this is cool. Podcasts, Nintendo voice chat, Radio Free Nintendo. I'm back into Nintendo. You know what I mean? Like it was funny how sort of PlayStation like sort of got the wheels turning. But yeah, the 3DS is just to me is just so good. It's got so many good games like And like, I mean, obviously, it's really nice to be able to have the entire DS catalog with it, you know. But like, there was a like for 3 year period, like I brought my DS with me to work every day. I'm playing it on lunch break, 15-minute break. I'm playing it. You know, just like, and I love RPGs, so it's like obviously like our JRPG Central on the 3DS there. You know, Bravely Default.
Oh my God, yes.
Dragon Quest VII. That was the first time I beat a Dragon Quest game there. Shin Megami Tensei, like so many good games.
Yeah.
And then like even funny enough, like Triforce Heroes is one of my favorite games on the 3DS.
What?
And exactly, you would think like, what's this guy smoking? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, what? And I will admit, like the first time I played it, it was like, this is okay. Like, you know, like I could see where this game could be good, you know, in the right setting, you know, but I don't have that.
Yeah.
And after Perry and I started playing Splatoon, we started playing Triforce Heroes.
Okay, so you got your little group, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, and at first it was just me, him, and like we just pick up a random online or whatever, and then it just we were like, we can't do some of these challenges without, you know what I mean, without like a real third person to like communicate with. So we ended up buying his friend a copy so that he would play with us, and we beat every single challenge in that game, like 100% every challenge, and like in that setting, it is one of the like funnest games I've ever played.
If you have it set with that, and you have a way to voice chat with each other, it is really good because you need voice chat in that game. I don't even know why they didn't put it in there. It was ridiculous. Before we move on, Bad Bit's screaming in the chat. He wants to know Horde or Alliance.
Oh baby, there's only one answer. You got it for the Horde, baby. Come on. Get out of here with the Alliance. It's all it's actually that's sort of where like my online, I mean like tag, I guess, or like game, whatever you do, is a Stalfo. And like that was when I was like trying to think of a name. I was like, what do I want this? Like I hate naming things so much because it's so permanent and I can never make a good decision. But Stalfos from Zelda, you know, and I was an undead character in WoW, so I was like Stalfo, you know, and it sort of stuck with it. So
Harvard, that was weeks ago that somebody won. That was oh my God, Skyward King won the Switch that we gave away. Okay, so Switch comes out. Where are you? So Wii U, you had a Wii U?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I mean, the Wii U was kind of like a deserted island. I love the games that came to it. I love replaying them on the Switch. But it's just not, you know, it's not what it could have been. You know, I was one of those idiots that was just like, I'm in the Nintendo ecosystem, so I'm happy. I got a 3DS, I have a Wii U, and I'm content. Now that the Switch is out, I'm like, what the hell was I talking about? Like, that game, there was no games that time, you know what I mean? But honestly, I will say that at least I was able to play games and finish them on the Wii U era, because now, dude, I can't keep up. It's like every week there's another 5 games that I want to play. It's like, what is going on, man?
We always joke about that, is like, because we started in the Wii U era, you know, so that was when we were like, all right, we've got a 2-hour pot. Like that's with the eShop. The origins of the eShop was like, we'd go over 3DS, we'd go over Wii U, we'd go over like, oh, my Nintendo reminder, like a little thing, you know what I mean? Because it was like, there was like, oh, like 3 games, 2 games, one like, oh, there's a theme coming out on my Nintendo. Like, well, we can remind people of that, you know? And like the eShop would take no time, you know? Like, boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then there was a time when we'd be like, all right, our topic is going to be I demand you. And it's going to be I demand you to play a game of my picking, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to pick a game, Perry picks from me, and we have to play it. And it was... I miss it so much because it was like it was, we could go back into the backlog. We could do all these things like, oh my God. And now it's like, yeah, like you said, you're like, I want to play 4 games. 2 of them are 30 hours long.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the time, you know?
Like I bought Final Fantasy IX. I started to play it and I'm like, I don't have no time for this. You know what I mean? And like, I love playing Fortnite, but I'm like, I don't have time for Fortnite anymore. I don't have time to dedicate to be good at that game and jump in and like go level up and do what I got to do and do my challenges. I'm like, I got so much stuff I want to play. Then I'm playing Yoshi and I'm just like, okay. Let's get into this. What's your thoughts on Yoshi?
I haven't played it yet.
Okay.
I do plan on picking it up eventually. And I mean, I've always liked Yoshi games. They're not like my favorite of all time. I mean, obviously Yoshi's Island. Everyone loves Yoshi's Island, right?
Yeah.
I think I liked Woolly World a lot.
I love Woolly World.
Like just collecting those yarn, like that was one of my favorite things. Like getting all those different skins and be like, there will be no cuter skin than this. And then all of a sudden, like the next level, I'm like, oh, there it is.
There it is. Yeah.
I guess I'm changing it up now. Now I'm a watermelon. You know, like all these crazy.
And I
things.
literally scanned every single amiibo I had in, so I can unlock them all.
To. And I bet if you're like me, and I think I see some back there, a bajillion amiibo to do. You know, it's like it was an evening task. You know, like
forever. And I'm like, this is cool. There's only a couple that I really liked though. I liked Samus, and I liked Ness. And that was it. And the rest of them, I was like, these just... No.
But you had to do it anyway.
I did them all. Had to do them all. Like in dummy. Yep. I'm sitting there, plunk, plunk, plunk. Like, I bought these things for something. We're going to unlock them all.
Yeah, I'm getting my money's worth, damn it.
My thing is like, I'm not... So, I started out, I didn't like the demo. And I was like, I'm not a fan. I'm not liking it. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to buy it anyway. Give it a shot.
As you do.
Yeah. And I went through the first, I guess, like, I want to say 4 levels. And I was like, okay, this is better than the demo. Because the demo was just like, you're stuck in the same world. You're in, you're out, you're in, you're... And it was like, if this is the way it is on every single one, I don't want to play every level 3 times over and I'm done. I don't want to do that. Like, this isn't Galaxy. I'm not doing this. But the game is not like that, you know? But it's just... lacking, man. It's like I'm playing levels and I'm not enjoying them. Like the thing with Woolly World was like I played it and I was like literally amazed at every single level, like watching the yarn and seeing the yarn and just like, this is just really cool. You know what I mean? Like throwing the yarn and wrapping something up and then hitting it again and knocking it out and stuff. It was just like, and then like you'd throw the eggs that were essentially, or you would throw the yarn balls and it would like make a platform appear. You know what I mean? Like that's just really cool. You know what I mean? Like I loved that stuff and I would prefer, you know, there's just something, I can't put my finger on it. So I literally stopped playing Woolly or,
Crafted World.
Crafted World. I'm just like, I don't know, man. I just
see. For me, it was like pre-launch. I was like one of those like I'm probably gonna get it because I'm a sucker. You know, yeah. I know my spot in the world. You know, Nintendo releases a game and I'm probably gonna pick it up. But yeah, it was like okay, it looks fine. It's a Yoshi game, whatever. Then I did play the demo, and actually I liked the demo.
Okay.
I thought it was pretty cool. I liked how you went like through and then you'd come back around.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like you said, there's so many other games right now. It's like I've got whatchamacallit. You know, I'm playing Final Fantasy VII right now, which is, you know, that's taken up some time.
Have you ever played that before or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not for a long time, and just I love the history and how like it's finally on a Nintendo console. You know, like awesome. It's like it was surreal loading it up almost. Like this is so strange. You know, like and I was playing with a GameCube controller before. It's like. I love the fact that you could just use the GameCube controller on like every game.
I know,
like
pretty
it's
cool.
So good.
It's pretty cool.
And then like I picked up, I did the review actually for Nuclear Throne, which came out. That was one of the like stealth drops during the Nindy Spotlight.
Okay.
Really great roguelike, super tough, super fun though. So I've just been busy with other games, and I'm like, I'll get Yoshi eventually. You know, I might just be like, hey Perry, send it to me when you're done. Let me beat it. I'll send it back to you. Like I don't want to spend money on that right now. You know.
Is he buying? Bad bit. We're not talking. Wow, would you stop? He probably can't even hear. He's sitting in Wendy's. He probably can't even hear anything. He's just sitting there, lips moving, and he's like, "Ask him about this and ask about this." Are you guys physical or are you digital gamers?
I'm a physical, but I'm becoming more open for the digital. I think that like now, if I wasn't reviewing games through Nintendo World Report and stuff, like I think I would probably still be more aligned to the physical. But like just getting codes for reviews now, and like in the beginning, I'd be like, I'm trying to think, like I'd be, oh, I got a code for this game I want to play, like Ease 8 that came out. Like I reviewed that for the website, and awesome game of the year 2018 for me.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, so good. And it was one of those, like, I mean, I knew I like RPGs, you know, but like, oh, knock my socks off.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was one where like I would love to have that physically, you know, but like I've got the code, and then like in my mind it's like wrestling, like just buy it anyway so you have it on the shelf. But then it's like, no, you have, like, there's no reason you'll never open it, and like it gets tough sometimes. But like now I'm more open, like Smash Bros, like digital, because it's like that's going to be a game I want on my Switch at all times, you know, like I don't want to have to switch that out. But generally, like I'm trying to think what, like, see, like Animal Crossing, that's like another one where like in my mind I want the physical.
I'm buying both.
See, so yeah,
I'm buying both because I want the physical copy for my shelf, and then I want the digital because that's the only way I'll play it. I'll never take it out of the, like, I'll never take it out. It'll just be, because here's the thing, when I got the 3DS version of Animal Crossing, I bought the physical. My wife got the digital at the time, when I was married at the time. She got the digital, and only reason she got the digital is because she didn't want to wait 9 hours for me to go to GameStop to pick up our copies that we pre-purchased, right? Pre-purchased, prepaid, we own them, but she don't want to wait. She's like, no, I'm playing now. I can get it.
I don't blame her.
Yeah, so she got like a 4-hour jump on me. I was so pissed. And
yeah, she's already got the upgrade.
God
damn it.
I'm like, she bought her stuff at the store, and then tomorrow at 7 o'clock when everything resets, or 6 o'clock when it resets, she gets everything again. I'm like, this isn't fair.
She's got the axe and the fishing rod, you know, and you're stuck there with the net.
Yeah, exactly. I'm so pissed. So anyway, we went somewhere, and I was torn. I'm like, I think we went to Disney, and I didn't want to take every game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what do I take? Do I take this? I want to play Animal Crossing. I know I'm going to play Animal Crossing because I got my daily chores. But I forget what the other game was. I'm like, but I really want to play this when I get the opportunity to. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna just buy digital. So I went and bought the digital version of Animal Crossing just to have it on my 3DS at all times, because I love that. I love the ability to just jump in whenever I want and just start playing. Not even second guess it, not even think about it. Just be like, boom, there you go. Splatoon 2 is digital because I got to be able to have Splatoon 2 at the drop of a hat. I realized that very, very quickly. Was like, and what I'm probably going to start doing is rebuying stuff. Maybe when they have sales, or if I have enough gold coins
down the road
for free. Yeah, way down the road, I'll probably start shifting over and getting digital stuff. But I regret not buying a digital copy of Breath of the Wild, because it's like,
that's another game to just jump in, you know, like 10, 15 minutes, go do. Yeah, no, it's really like, it's sort of sad how lazy people, and myself including it, it's just like you said, it's like, oh, do I want to go? Even like with like the case I have for the Switch has like a couple like slots to, you know, hold a couple of the Switch cards. But even just like to do that is like annoying enough. And I remember like I really like on the Wii U, that was really when it was like, it is such a pain to like
get up,
pop the CD out, get that CD in. Like it just, I felt like it took forever to get like into the Wii U. Something, you know, the Switch not so bad, but it's just digital is so much easier, more convenient. But
where I went heavy digital was with the Wii U. I bought an 2 terabyte external hard drive, and because there was no third party games on the Wii U, I have like 190 games on that thing, and they're all Nintendo games, and like 5 gig, and I'm like, I overkill beyond belief. Like I didn't even use half of it. You know what I mean? But I was like, if I'm gonna do, I'm gonna need 2 terabyte, and I get it, and I'm like, I didn't even use like 500 gig yet. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy with the Switch too. When all of a sudden you download, like I've got Resident Evil Revelations 2, which is so good. I love that game. I'm a big Resident Evil fan. So like I played Revelations 1 on the 3DS. I actually imported the boat, like the Circle Pad Pro. You remember that thing? Like
yeah.
Oh, it was the XL.
The boat. They call it the boat.
It was literally the boat. Yeah. And like I played that in there, and like that was a fine game. But Revelations 2 is really good for the Switch, and that's one where I'm like, I don't want to delete it. Like, I know I'm never gonna go back and play this, like maybe years down the road, but it's like that's one I'm holding on to. That's like 20+ gigs or whatever on the Switch. Like same with Ys 8. It's like that's another one, but it's like. How
much memory do you have on your Switch?
I think I forget. I think I bought the 128 or whatever.
Okay.
Because I bought it like I got that right when the Switch came out, because that was one of those like, well, I know I'm gonna need space, and I think the 256 or whatever the next one up like was way more money at the time. I know you can get a pretty good deal on those now.
I bought a 400 gig. This is how bad. I bought a 400 gig when it went on sale for $190, and now they're $60, and I'm like, so now the I believe the 1 terabytes are out now, but they're like $400, and I'm like, I'm not spending $400 on this. It's not.
Fool me once,
fool me
twice, shame on me.
You know,
yeah, those, and for me, like. I play so many games. Like I'm fortunate enough with the site, with like through the podcast too. We can get some codes for games and stuff.
It's always
so it's like we're fortunate enough to play so many games. It's like I don't mind deleting them. Like if I have to re-download a game, I want to replay again. Like it's not too bad. And I know in the future, like that was one of my bigger concerns, and not so much with like the indie games, because like again, like maybe I'll go back and play some of these games. Probably not. But like if I'm downloading Smash Bros, and in 10 years from now, like something happens to my flash drive, my SD card, and I need to re-download it. Will I be able to? Like is that going to be like that was my biggest concern? Where like with the physical copy, I know I'm never going to have to worry about that.
That's the thing. That's the biggest thing that gets me torn. Is like certain games you just go, man, what do I do here? Like. I can play the original Zelda anytime I want. Just if I feel like hooking up my NES and and I have the cartridge, and so it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like it's like no big deal. But like this is the one thing that always worries me is like, what if they shut down? Like they shut down the Wii eShop or the Nintendo store or whatever the hell they called it. I forget the name, but the Wii Shop. But like when they shut down the eShop one day, like. What do you do? And it's just always this thing of like, there's that chance that Nintendo goes out of business. You know what I mean? What if they go out of business and all of a sudden you can't get these games anymore? So it's always like, how do you handle a situation like that? It's a little,
it's dicey.
It is. It definitely is.
You don't know, and I mean, like you said, like they could go out of business. Sure, probably not.
Probably not. But, not my lifetime.
But same token, servers are shut down. They're gonna look and go, we're paying X amount for this, and no one's buying anything off this shop anymore. And it's just like you said, I don't want to like lose all of that investment that I put into it. And sure, you could probably go back and pick up a used copy somewhere, but then all of a sudden you look at a copy of Earthbound. That's hundreds of dollars. It's like I don't want to run into that situation where there's a game I really want to play that is not going to be feasible without spending like an absurd amount of money. And
it's a truth.
It's tough.
It's definitely the truth. Okay. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this thing.
Meat and taters, I like it.
Are you buying Labo VR?
I'm torn on that too, because like I bought actually I did part of the review for the Variety Kit.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where like I built a couple of them and I was like, oh, this is cool. Like me and my girlfriend actually streamed like us building it and like fiddling around, and I was like, oh, that's cool. But I never even built all of them,
Yeah. There's a lot. And
yeah.
there's some that take a long time, man. Like I think the pianos.
Even the
I think
easy
they said
ones.
the piano's like 5-6 hours or something.
Yeah, I did the fishing rod and the house.
Okay.
Are the ones that I ended up making.
The house is cool. The house is pretty cool.
Yeah, what a weird little game with the creature inside. Only Nintendo, you know.
Yeah.
But that reminds me like a funny Nintendogs thing too. But but yeah, with the VR, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely more interested now that they announced like the Zelda and the Mario Mario things.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder because we saw a little video and it almost looks like you could just look like you're going to be stationary at one point and you could just look around the world and then control Mario like that. I guess.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
It's going to be strange. I don't know. Half of me is saying like just go out and get it, do it. And like the pedal with the to blow the wind in your face as you're flying around, like that is like that is so funny to me. But then the other part of me is like, wait a month and a half and you could probably get it for half price, like if the way the other
I just bought kit 1 and 3 for $20 a piece.
Yeah, they were super cheap. Yeah,
Target had a sale. Only in store, you couldn't do it online. But for me, like when they announced Zelda and Mario, I pre-ordered it that day. I was like, okay, you got
hook,
me.
line, and sinker.
Yeah, I'm the idiot. I'll dive in. I want to check it out. I was always going to do it, and the main reason was because of the elephant one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the idea of drawing in 3D. Like that intrigues me. I know that Vive has something you could do, and you could draw in 3D because Klaus from Zoink, we were talking about it at E3, and he was telling me how he's really big into VR. Like, Zoink is really moving towards VR because he loves the medium. Klaus is one of these guys that, likes the quirky stuff. He's all about that. So...
Labo right up his alley, yeah.
Yeah, so for he was telling me about Vive, and he's like... Because he knows that I like to draw as well, and... we were discussing it, and he was just like, Bobby, he's like, this is unbelievable, this Vive thing. He's like, I went in the other day, and I was drawing for hours. Like, I just was in this world drawing, and he's like, I just got into it, and I did this painting that was, 3D and stuff, and I was like, are you... Like, he was telling me about it. So, I don't know that I would ever buy a Vive.
Too much, because then you gotta, if you don't have the rig, right? You gotta have a super nice computer. And
I don't have all that. So I'm like, I don't see myself getting a Vive. But hey, if I can draw in a 3D world with this thing, I'm willing to give it at least try it. You know what I mean? And I was
scratch that itch. Yeah.
And I was thinking about the other day, actually just this morning, I was thinking about it. I was like, when I get this thing, the first thing I'm doing is calling my dad, because my dad's an artist, and my dad is what I feel the best artist that I know personally. He can paint, he can draw, he can sculpt, he can do all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, he would be so into this. Just the drawing aspect of it. And I could see him doing some crazy stuff with it. So I felt like this is probably... I don't know that I want to make games. I don't want to do that. That's not my... I could care less about that. That's stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I never have any time Nintendo's ever put out a game creator, I've never used it.
I'm not big into the game like Perry, where he'll dive into those level creators like crazy.
Yeah.
It's I would rather just play the level. If people want to make those levels, I'll play them.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a consumer than a designer. I guess you would say.
Mario Maker was the first time I really dove in and played a lot with something like that. But it's cool for me to see them trying this. The gun one with the cannon, the air cannon, that to me is that could be a fun one. That could be... I don't see myself diving in deep, but when they announced Mario and Zelda, I was just
that's...
Okay, you got me, to the point of I just want to see what it is. It feels and I could be wrong, but it feels like Mario is... Well, they've said it. Mario's just a couple levels that they built stuff to do. Zelda seems like that's the game. You're going to play the game in that, I guess, in 3D, kind of.
Because, I was looking at, like you said, it shows, you go into the menus and you click VR Labo, right?
Yeah.
And, it's I'm trying to figure out, because it's still from like, or is it just going to be like you're in like a cloud? You know what I mean? Because like you still see Link running along on the horse down the river or whatever. Yeah. Is that something where like you're just going to be like an aerial view, but like be able to do that panning around? Or
are you the camera?
Yeah, you know I mean? Which would still be cool. I mean, like it would, because I guess you could sort of try and tuck it in tight. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm definitely interested. I don't know. It's going to be who knows? Next Friday, I could be coming home with a new the VR, and I'm like, yep, they bamboozled me again. You know?
You'll be right there. You'll be right there. We're coming up close to the hour, but I want to dive into a couple of things before we head out, just because whatever. What's your most anticipated game for 2019?
Got to be Animal Crossing. I mean, well, all right. It's Animal Crossing out of pure intrigue. Obviously, like I've always loved Animal Crossing. I think everyone does. Highly anticipated, and I think we're all hoping it's going to take that leap where it won't just be like new Leaf in prettier graphics, which would be great.
I'll take that. I'll take that. I could care less.
Like, to me, what I want like when you're driving through the Animal Crossing level in Mario Kart 8, like how, like I want there to be that you could still do the top down, like, the world rotates, whatever. But I want to also have that ability to drop down and walk through and see the trees up around and like look at my house. Give me a Labo VR in Animal Crossing 2, dude, baby. Come on.
I talked about that this yesterday.
Like, that would be perfect, like that's what I really want. But I'm also insanely hyped for Dragon Quest XI to come out on the Switch in I think it's September. Like, that was a game I knew I was going to be getting when they announced it. We all knew it would be coming to Switch eventually, right? So it was when it was like, okay, I'm gonna wait and
they announced it. They announced it when it was the NX, and they said it's coming to the NX, and I was like, that's weird. You're announcing a game for something we don't even know what it is. But that was kind of cool. And
it's going to be that with be able to switch between the 2D and the 3D graphics. And
that's pretty cool too.
It's going to be really cool. And then of course you got Persona 5. It not coming yet, but of course that's going to be coming. But yeah, I mean, ultimately it's got to be Animal Crossing, because I mean,
for me,
it's Animal Crossing, right?
If the rumors that are coming out are true, I think this will definitely take what New Leaf offered up a notch, completely. And I like that. I like the fact that, like, it feels like they're not messing up Animal Crossing, they're just improving upon it. Because I felt like it took some steps back. Like, the original GameCube was really good. Wild World, not so much. City Folk was basically Wild World.
That's like the one Animal Crossing I rarely played at all. Was that one?
Well, my problem was when they made the announcement that you can move the items from Wild World into City Folk. I jumped back into Wild World and actually started going and collecting everything, all my favorite pieces of furniture,
prep up,
so I could move it over. And then I was just like, I'm burned out. I played so many hours of this thing. It's like the same exact game. I don't feel like I want to play it, But then New Leaf came out, and man, they just really knocked it out the park.
That's New Leaf is so good.
Yeah,
and it's crazy. New Leaf came out in 2013, right? I mean, 6 years at this point. Like, I feel like they're due for, like you said, like they need to step it up a notch. It can't be New Leaf HD.
I mean, dude,
even despite how, like, that would still be good.
It would still be great, but we need new stuff. And the thing of it is, like, when you play, like you said, that Mario Kart level, I just want to stop the cart and get out and run around. I don't even want to stay there. It's just so well done what they did, and like that's what I want. I want the rolling hills and all that stuff. Like. It doesn't have to be Breath of the Wild where I'm climbing up the side of the mountain, you know what I mean? But, like, I want the rolling hills and stuff, and like, it could be...
rock climbing.
Yeah, man, it would be so good if they could do that.
I feel like it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. And then this way, like you said, if the terrain's not all flat, there are hills and valleys and such, that's going to just make each person's town feel even more unique to one
Yes.
another.
Yes.
And then, and of course with Switch Online, there's going to be an emphasis on visiting other people's towns.
Yep.
It would be interesting. Maybe they have like a big plaza where like
You just go in.
it's just always online and people are popping in. You could trade with people, maybe,
that'd be amazing.
popping in and out.
Yeah.
And like, it wouldn't surprise me if they do have that emphasis and sort of like, this is why you need Nintendo Switch Online.
Well,
this is one of the key titles.
That's one of the rumors. So one of the rumors is if you have Switch, okay, so if you buy Animal Crossing, let's say you and I don't have Nintendo Online, we can still go on and play with each other via the online. But that's it. Now, if you have Nintendo Online, up to 8 people can come into a town, which is pretty incredible when you think about that. It's also,
and then I wonder if they like add some mini games, hide and go seek or something, where it's not just like you're playing it on your own.
Yeah.
Like it's actually you talk to someone and it organizes some sort of miniature game that and awesome. You get rewarded. Oh, you put 1,000 bells in, winner gets the bells.
Or you go to the island, because the island has some great mini games.
Yeah,
and newly, if you go to the island, you could go off and play on Tortimer's Island and play some stuff. That'd be awesome too, to jump in and go over there, get your friends, go have a shark, shark catching tournament.
Are you going to E3 this year?
I am not going to E3 this year.
I have a feeling that how the theme has been making the booth essentially it's going to be a town from Animal Crossing with trees.
Don't tell me that,
and build
because I'll be so depressed. Because,
you and me both, brother.
Yeah, because I went last year.
Why aren't we there?
I went last year, and although I loved Animal Crossing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I loved Animal Crossing so much. What the hell is, hold on a second. Wow. Okay. So I just got tagged in this. Luke Lore, who's here now, he just tagged me in a tweet. Wolfenstein Youngblood for the Switch at retail will contain no cartridge, download code only, internet required, mentioned on Amazon and GameStop, and they're basically showing the screen grabs of those. That's insane, dude. Like,
that is weird.
Why would you charge me for a box and that's it?
Well, I mean, I guess if you got to buy it digitally anyway, we might as well get a box for it, right?
Yeah, but that's so stupid.
No, I know it's so strange.
You know better than that.
No, that is weird. What is cool is that it's going to be day and date with all the other versions.
Yeah.
Which did you play the Wolfenstein that came out for Switch?
I started playing it, and then it just takes a while to get into it. And I didn't have that much time to because you're going through the story and all that.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's the story of the prelogue. And I'm like, I don't have time for this right now. I want to jump back into it though.
that game is bonkers.
Dude, that game is. What I saw, I was just like, am I really seeing this? Like,
there's one point, I'm not going to spoil it because but like there was one point where I was just like, oh, okay, that's where this game is going. Like, that is okay, and it was so ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing with that game. That game is
over the top.
Very over the top. Very over the top. I wouldn't mind. I'm impressed with what Bethesda's doing with Nintendo. Like, it floors me, and the quality of the ports are like above and beyond anything out there. They're just crushing it, man.
I think it's just a testament. They saw what the Switch was, and they knew it was going to be a success. And props to them because, like you said, they were one of the first big dogs out there.
Yeah, they jumped on day one and were like, "Hey, here we go."
And good old panic button, doing God's work.
Oh my God, dude, they are so good, man, so good. Now I've heard that the Mortal Kombat 11 port is really on par too, man.
Can't wait for that game either. And to talk about over the top, oh man,
I'm not buying it.
Give me the cheese, man. I love those games.
I'm not buying it because I don't like the gore. That's just, dude, watching them rip hearts out and then like, it's beating.
They're just the trailers themselves are like, just gonna rip your spine out. Like whatever.
The thing for me though, what gets me excited about that is it's the same studio that does Injustice, so I know they're probably working on Injustice 3, and I just think like if this game's successful, we could honestly see them do Injustice 3 on the Switch. So I'm praying that the game does really well. Mortal Kombat 11, because I really wanted Injustice 3 on the Switch, because I love the first one. I didn't play the second because it didn't come to Wii U, and I was just like, I really wasn't into. For fighting games, I'm not a fan of the PlayStation controller. It just doesn't feel right to me for fighting games. And I wasn't an Xbox guy at that point. So I do have an Xbox One now, which I'm actually going to trade in tomorrow because is Best Buy or GameStop. GameStop's having some really $250 trade-in value on it. So I was like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, they're having insane sale tomorrow. So I'm like,
I wonder if they're doing that on the PS4.
$250 as well.
I might, because like for me, like I was holding my PS4 essentially for Resident Evil 2. Like remake was the only reason. Like that and Persona 5 were like the reasons I was like. And Persona 5, I ended up getting halfway through, and then I went to PAX a couple years ago, and then I came back and it was, you know how things go.
Yeah.
You take a break from a game, especially a game like that, for a week, and
you're lost.
And it's hard to get back into it. But they're doing fit. Maybe I'm walking home with Yoshi and a VR pre-order bundle tomorrow.
Well, my thing is I'm thinking about trading in, get the $250. I want to upgrade to either an Xbox One X or a PlayStation 4 Pro. I don't want to. My first response was, well, I'll trade in my PS4 and my Xbox One S and get both. But I was like, I don't want to get rid of my PlayStation because I have the Batman Arkham Edition, and I love that. I love Batman, so I'm like, I can't get rid of that thing, man. Like, I can't. But part of me is like, just
honestly though, I feel like the Xbox One X or whatever, I feel like the Xbox leap would be more substantial than the PS4 leap, you know.
But I want to play Spider-Man, I want to play God of War, and I want to play Horizon, and there's a bunch of games I want to play, but it's just like, I'm torn. I got to figure it out. I got 24 hours to think it out. Well, less than 24 hours to think it out.
The time's ticking, man.
Time's ticking.
Decisions to be made. Yeah.
I'll go. This is what I'll do. I'll go in. I'll trade in, and then I'll just keep the credit, and I'll go buy Nintendo games. That'll be the stupid me. What I'll do.
That, or you'll go in with both, and you'll walk out with both new big boys, and you'll go, God, how'd this happen?
I know how it happened.
And all these Nintendo games. Oh,
I know, because I'm an idiot. You know what? I might do it.
I'm right there with you, man. It's disease.
I know, I'm sick. Casey, thank you for coming on, man. This was a blast. The hour blew by.
Yeah, I can't believe it. It feels like we just started.
I know. We need to do this again because we got wrapped up in baseball talk at the beginning and we didn't really get. We didn't talk Nintendo that much.
Yeah, so, we got enough of the Nintendo talk. People, they've heard enough Nintendo BS. How often do you get good old classic New York Mets and Yankees talk on Nintendo podcasts? You know,
all I know is the last time I watched the World Series with the Yankees and the Mets, it didn't end well for the Mets.
Yeah, you know what? I was in 6th or 7th grade at that point, and I didn't truly appreciate what a special,
the Subway Series.
Like how insane, the Mets and Yankees were playing. You know, like how special that was. Yeah. And now, and in 2015, I got with the Mets, we're in the World Series, like it felt more, but Yankees Mets, I cannot believe how big and awesome that was, and how I just was like, oh well. You know, I'm just a dumb kid, whatever.
Oh, man. Me and my dad were just loving it. You know?
Armando Benitez, man. Freaking blowing it. And then Familia blowing it in 2015. Our closers, man, is... That's all. I'm a Jets, Mets, Islanders fan. I am used to heartbreak.
You've lived that life.
I'm they have bred me to be the most pessimistic person when it comes to... And then the Wii U years, I was I'm like, man, everything I like, I'm an underdog.
I'm the kiss of death.
It's like I am the true and try underdog. That's what I root for, and so I'm used to just getting my butt kicked.
It happens. Let everybody know where they can find you at, real quickly, sir.
All right. Well, I'm on Twitter at case_Jets, but more importantly, you should check out Talk Nintendo Podcast, which is Talk Nintendo Pod. That's Talk Nintendo POD on Twitter. And then, we do reviews at Nintendo World Report. And then on YouTube, Nintendo World Report TV. We do video reviews and all that good stuff. So definitely good stuff to check out, I think. So
You can follow me, Instagram, Twitter, at Nintendo Gurus. Thank you guys once again for all coming out. I love you guys so much and the support you guys give me each and every week. I appreciate it. That is all. Peace out, Preston.
Thank you for having me.